Hi, good morning. Thank you for joining me today. I have to do a vlog in my bedroom on my bed because it's morning and I'm getting ready to go out on a 3 mile walk. It's pretty nice out there. If you can see through the window. Just about 9 o'clock. And I figured I'd come in and say, good morning. Um, Now, this is my setup here in the morning. I do a little ball work. See that? You can do it on the floor. Actually, if you wanted to, you could sleep like this. I have a problem with edema in my legs, so I sleep, well, a lot of stuff. But usually now I'm sleeping without any pillow, like this, for posture. And then my feet up on the ball, my legs up on the ball. It's quite comfortable. And then they say to sleep with your one hand on your stomach and the other hand on your abdomen for digestion. So, hi, I'm Annette and I'm a lapbander. Right, unfilled lapbander. I've been unfilled since September, maybe September, August of 2016. I'll give you a little backstory. I started my weight loss path out of obesity in January of 2012. Yeah, because I woke up and found myself one day extremely fat, right? And I didn't see it. I didn't see it at all. And my daughter said one day, she said, Mom, she said, you're really fat. And she said, you're going to have a heart attack if you don't quit it. I was like, really? I was like, I didn't think I was that fat. She said, yeah, you are. Well, I'm a little shorty, right? I used to be 5'4", but now I'm 5'2.5". Why? Because I've shrunken through menopause. Lucky me. Yeah. I'm going on 58 years old. I'll be 58 in December. So I started on this path, this health journey, weight loss path in January of 2012. This is going to be a long video, so pull up a chair, get a cigarette, get a cinnamon bun, get a cup of coffee or Diet Coke, whatever you want to do, and sit down and have a seat and hear what I have to say because I got a lot of nuggets in this video vlog. So I wasn't always fat. No, I wasn't always a fat girl. As a matter of fact, when I was little, I was very, very skinny. Very skinny. Because why? I was always, in those days, in the 70s, we only had 3 channels of TV. And believe it or not, I remember we didn't even have color TV. We had black and white. I can remember when we had a black and white TV. Right. And because I was born in 1960, yeah, so probably a lot of you that are listening to this vlog, where it just was a twinkle in your teenage daddy's eyes. So I do have my full face on today, have some makeup on, getting ready to go out for a 3 mile walk. And then this afternoon, I'm going out for a C&O Canal with a friend, and we're going to do some nature walk, right? Because she's not a cyclist. So we'll do nature walking. So, anyway, so getting back to my story, um, yeah, so I wasn't always overweight as a kid because I was always active, riding my bike, climbing trees, out in nature. The only time that I was idle in my house, sitting ready, because we always had dinner at 4 o'clock. And it was always, well, my dad got killed when I was 11 years old in a car accident. So my sister was grown because she was born 1950, so she was out of the house. and my brother was handicapped, and he was born 1940. So there was 20 years difference between me and my brother, but he was handicapped and he lived at home. So at dinner time, we always had dinner at 4:30 usually, and it was always home cooking, sitting at the table. And my brother said the prayer, the daily prayer, God is good, God is great, and we thank you for our food. Amen. And then we ate, right? And it was my mom who would start cooking from scratch at 4, usually 4 o'clock. She was a widow and she stopped working when she was 50 because her current company, she was a factory worker, and she moved down. They moved down south, so at the time my dad was killed in the car accident, and so she retired at 50 and became a widow, and she was left with me, 11, and my brother was little. He was 40, 30, 31. I was 11, and my sister was 22, but she was out of the house, or 20. She was out of the house by then, somewhat. I vaguely remember that, but she was always doing something. So, yeah, so I was always outside climbing trees, riding my bike, climbing on. We had this favorite place to go. We would go down by the riverbank, and we would walk in the mud. We expanded on climbing these rock piles, which we really were not allowed to climb on. It was they did something with the dredging of the river, and we weren't really allowed to climb on those rocks, but we did. So, to make a long story short, I never was home. I was never in the house unless I was playing Barbies down the street with Robin or Lori, climbing trees, playing hide and go seek, playing kickball. We played softball. We were never in the house, and I basically never ate until it was dinner time. So, think about that. I never would eat breakfast, and my mom would always fight to me and say, "You need to eat breakfast. You need to eat breakfast because you need to have food for your brains for when you go out to eat, or when you go out to play, or when you go to school." And I was never a breakfast person. Never, never when I was a kid. So I was always skinny. Yeah, as a matter of fact, for most of my years, I was called an anemic. Um, and my mom would always try to eat me to make me eat liver and all that kind of stuff. I wasn't eating no liver, no way. So fast forward, in my 20s, of course, I wasn't overweight and I wasn't obese, um, but yet I was a disco queen. I weighed about 100. And what I would always do is, if I was 20 years old, I had to be 120. When I was 22, I had to be 122. And 25, I was 125. So like that. So when I got pregnant, when I was, let's see, 19, 20, 25, I weighed 130 pounds. And really, that's when my weight problem started. So it was linked to hormones, really. Um, the only thing I really could say during pregnancy is I gained 30 pounds. I was drinking a lot of cow's milk. That's what I craved. And spicy Italian food. But I gained 30 pounds, and I had a 9 pound 6 ounce baby. She was 21 inches long. I've had 3 pregnancies in my life. Yeah, I did the nasty when I was 15 years old, and I got an abortion. Don't judge me. And then I got pregnant again, stupid me, um, when I was 16, and I had another abortion, terminated that pregnancy. And my mother said that I gave her a heart attack because I broke her heart. Bad girl. And so the last time I got sent away to a Catholic boarding school. Yeah, way up in McSherrystown, Pennsylvania. I was such a bad girl. So, yeah, I was a bad girl, and that's my life. That's my truth, right? So yeah, I was able after I got pregnant those both times, I did gain like maybe 15 pounds or something, and then I lost it. But then I can remember when I went away to boarding school and my freshman year of high school in 1976, I think it was. Gained a lot of weight because I was eating a lot of carbs up in McSherrystown, Pennsylvania, St. Joseph's Academy. Now, when I was growing up, my mom always cooked from scratch. We never had soda in the house, and we didn't eat bread, okay? Because my mother never put bread on the table because my brother always had a problem with weight because he was handicapped and most of his life he was sedentary and he sat in a chair. So, believe it or not, at his he was allowed to have a snack at night, and it was 1 cup of ice cream and 2 caramels. But I was never a big eater, nah, and I was never a snacker. Maybe at nighttime when I was watching a little TV or cartoons or something like that. So I never had a problem with obesity when I was little. I was never a fat kid. So as I said, to rewind back to my pregnancy, right after my pregnancy, that's when the trouble started, the metabolic issues, because it couldn't be what I was eating, right? So after my pregnancy, I did lose, I think I got down to the lowest I could ever get back to. I never get back to 130 pounds. I think I got my lowest I ever got was 140. But I seem to remember this magical number, 147. And believe it or not, my surgeon's goal for my weight loss, I met my surgeon's goal because it was lapband and it was Dr. Lee in Baltimore, Maryland, and she was happy with my progress, and she was happy with what I lost, right? Because I lost 65 pounds. I had met her the surgeon's goal, but my goal was always to get back down to 130 pounds. So what I got down to was 147. That was my lowest, and I had to starve to death to get to 147. And there was no way I was ever going to be able to hold that. Um, so fast forward, I did uh, after the first year, I started to train because I thought, well, maybe that would take me to 130 pounds, right? But it didn't. It never did. I worked, and if you go back through my videos, you could see that I was a triathlete, and doing all that exercise even made me more hungry. And it brought back all of the hormones. Um, Even though I was only eating a small amount of food, which, because at that time in the beginning of my lap band, I was restricted. Um, I had about 9 cc's of my lap band. So I decided I would go vegan, right? Because I thought, well, if I'm vegan, and I did go pescatarian in the middle of there, I tried that. I tried water fasting. Um, I tried low carb. I was always low carb. During my first 2 years, during the first 2 years, it was always 60 grams of protein first, carbs under 50 grams, exercise at least an hour a day to 2 hours. Um, and that could be any type of exercise, any type of fitness, walking, whatever. It was not always one type of fitness. So I went vegan for a year, and I think I lost about 10 pounds, 10% when I went vegan. But the thing about it is that not only did I lose fat loss, which I did, I lost my hair too. Because if you see, like, my hair has never been the same since I went since I had my weight loss surgery. Um, It's bushy and it's curly, and this is my hair. You can see it. This was really bad right up here, um, this side. So it grows bushy, but it doesn't grow. I'm not a hairy person, but when I was younger, I had a beautiful head of hair, like a faucet, Farrah Fawcett, but it started falling out. I say 3 months after I had my lap band. So yeah, and so I'm here on my bed, and you can see my body. I mean, I do have some skin. I'm 58 years old. My legs. I mean, I'm very flexible, as you can see with my legs. I'm very flexible. I mean, I do stretches, and I could do a lot of different things with my body. I've always been very flexible. See these legs? Yeah. And my stomach, I mean, my stomach is flat somewhat. And my breasts really don't sag that much because I lifted weights, and I never was, well, when I was pregnant, I was big breasted. Yeah, when I was big breasted when I was pregnant, but they deflated. I think I was a double D, a 38 double D, and my highest weight. But when I was fat at 210 pounds, my breasts were really big and fat and very plump, like very voluptuous, like right under there, like they were like big and fluffy, So because that's where all your fat is, right? All breast tissue is fat, right? Now I'm built like my mother. I have hourglass shape, but then when I was fat, I got to be a pear shape. But when I'm at my right weight for my body, I'm pear shape. I'm not pear shape. Uh, what you call that perfect? They call that what do they call that? Like a Marilyn Monroe shape or a J Lo shape or whatever. I never had like a boy body, like I call boy bodies like Twiggy, um, you know. But all those Hollywood people, they usually get some kind of plastic surgery, liposuction, or they get their, titties lifted, or implants, or they get liposuction and stuff like that. I mean, I've never had any plastic surgery, um, but have worked really hard for the body that I have at 58. There's not too many women that I see in my development because I'm into over 55. There's not many women my age that could exercise and do what I do physically um, uh, at my age, at late 50s, going to be 60 years old. Yeah. But I mean, because I was never an athlete until I turned 52, and that's when I started training for triathlons. So that was quite an accomplishment coming from a fat girl to be an Ironman twice, half Ironman 70.3. So, so today the idea is calories under 1,000. I'll be doing 3 miles now. Then I'm gonna walk another 6 miles, probably on the Aceto Canal. I may do some weightlifting today, and I'm gonna have fish for dinner. I'm gonna have 4 ounces of fish, and I might have half of a sweet potato and a salad and an orange on the trail. So I try to stick to a whole foods diet. I try to cook my own food. I never hardly drink soda. No, I don't. I eat carbs, but they're usually whole foods, whole foods. Um, I might do a cleanse, a body cleanse, for we're going to be going to Thanksgiving in South Carolina, hopefully, and the friend that we're going to see is vegan. He doesn't eat animal products, so with respect to him, it's probably going to be a meatless Thanksgiving. I'll have some faux turkey. I just got this in the mail. It's sort of like a hairpiece. Oh, matches pretty good. I'm gonna dye my hair a little bit darker, so I'm gonna be wearing that for the holidays. You know, these these hair pieces, they look so real. I mean, who would know? Who would know? This was only 15 or $12. This hair piece. So anyway, I rattled on enough, and thank